Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here with some more news from the dev blogs. We are getting some big changes to a couple of newly announced ships in quite the Nerf Nerf Hammer heavy way from Wargaming this time around. So this is from today's dev blog. I'll link it into the description down below if you want to read along as I read aloud. So let's go ahead and get on into it, shall we? Again, if there are any relevant images or artwork, I will go ahead and throw those up on screen as we go through it. And I am going to read through each little section and then give you guys my 2 cents on the changes to them. So let's go ahead and get started. So they say, changes to test ships, 11.11 closed testing. Based on testing results, we've applied changes to S1, L20, K1, Nebraska, Delaware, Yat Sen, Leipzig, Brisbane, and Z-42. So starting out with the submarine changes. Soviet submarine S1 Tier 6, researchable acoustic homing torpedoes. Distance at which torpedoes stop homing on pinged enemy submarine reduced from 220 to 200 meters. Researchable torpedoes, speed increased from 62 to 65 knots. Maximum damage increased from 8,367 to 9,233. Soviet submarine L-20 Tier 8, torpedo reload time reduced from 52 to 50 seconds. Researchable acoustic homing torpedoes, distance at which torpedoes stop homing on pinged enemy submarines reduced from 220 to 200 meters. Researchable torpedoes, maximum damage increase 9,867 to 10,333. And the K-1, which is the Tier 10 Soviet sub, torpedo reload time reduced from 62 to 55 seconds. Researchable acoustic homing torpedoes, distance at which torpedoes stop homing on pinged enemy submarine reduced 240 to 200 meters. Researchable torpedoes, 10,800 to 11,767 maximum damage. Okay, so these Soviet subs, I did do a full devblog video when those were announced. I'll link that probably somewhere here or in the description down below. The concept of these submarines are that they are anti-submarine submarines. So they are designed to go after primarily other submarines, and they appeared to not have been too good at that. They received some pretty slight buffs here. Nothing really too crazy. I think the biggest buff that we see here is the K1 getting her torpedo reload time down to 55 seconds. Other than that, I mean, again, the homing on other submarines is what mainly got cut down, and they had a slight boost to their damage, and in all these cases it wasn't even 1,000 points worth of a buff to their torpedo maximum damage. So the torpedo maximum damage is still well below the average torpedo maximum damage at tier 10, and I'm sorry, at their tier. And these guys don't get the unguided torpedoes. These guys only have homing torpedoes. So again, they're designed to go after enemy submarines. They still have the lowest torpedo damage for their tier, and again, some slight buffs all around. So we'll see what these guys come out to be. I haven't really run across these guys in game at all. I don't really play too many submarines right now, and even without not playing submarines, I just run into normally the one of the 3 main branches. Again, these guys are in super testing right now, so it's not like there's a ton of them out there. But I do tend to run across some testing ships, like some of the ones that we're about to talk about right now. Alright, so U.S. battleships, Nebraska, the Tier 8, Delaware, the Tier 9, these are the new hybrid American battleships. These are those half battleship, half CV monstrosities. So they say, change the method and parameters of the bomber squadrons attacked. Bombs are now dropped during level flight as with Louisiana. The dispersion ellipse has also been changed to become more similar to Louisiana's. The change will make the use of these ships' bombers easier and more efficient. So they're going from dive bombers to level bombers, and their ellipse, the dispersion ellipse for the bombs, are going more towards the Louisianas, which I'm assuming is a tighter ellipse than the Nebraska and the Delaware. Again, I hate that these ships are becoming hybrid ships. These ships are, man, I just, Louisiana's my state. And I was hoping that Louisiana would become a Montana variant as it was in real life. Louisiana is the last named battleship laid down for the U.S. Navy. Well, I don't think a keel was laid down, but it was the last named battleship approved for the United States. So it's the last battleship of the U.S. Navy. and it becomes this hybrid monstrosity instead of just becoming a Montana variant. They could have done it like the Massachusetts, or they could have made it like the Ohio, but instead of the 18-inch guns, it has the the 12 16-inch guns of the Montana, but with the Ohio's heel and secondaries. That would have been a fun ship to play, a fantastic ship to play, but no. We get this hybrid monstrosity with a quad turret in the back that's going to be pretty much universally hated no matter what they do to it, because people hate CVs and they hate hybrid ships. So it's going to get dumped on, of course. It's been a pretty strong ship from what I've seen in game. These hybrid ships, at least the Louisiana. I've run into the Louisiana so many times, but not the Delaware or the Nebraska. So yeah, it seems to be pretty potent, pretty powerful. It's got, again, the weird turret setup. It's got the 2 triple turrets in the front, then it's got a quad turret in the back. So it's got 10 16-inch guns. It's weird, non-historical ship. And again, it makes me very sad that happened to my state's ship. So, yep. The Nebraska and the Delaware, I'm assuming they're probably going to be easier to play since they're level bombers and the groupings getting tied into here, the dev block. So, yep. So, again, sad ships. I don't like them. Pan-Asian battleship Sun Yat Sen. This is the Asian Sovietsky Soyuz. HP reduced from 88,000 to 100. I'm sorry, from 88,100 to 80,900. God, that would be one hell of a nerf. 88,000 HP to 100 HP. AP shell maximum damage reduced 14,500 to 13,000. So that's a pretty big HP nerf there. Man, that's just under 8,000 damage. I'm sorry, 8,000 HP gone from the Sun Yat-sen's HP pool. Oof. And the AP shell damage being reduced. Again, Soviet battleship is Soviet battleship. Doesn't matter what flag you put it under. With those AP shells, it's going to be a pretty darn good and a pretty darn effective battleship, no matter what you do to it. Although again, 8,000 HP just getting Thanos is pretty rough to it. Alright, the German cruiser, the Leipzig, the Tier 6, main battery reload time increased from 7.2 to 7.9 seconds. So the Leipzig, I've ran into this a few times, I think once or twice on stream, and she seemed to be a pretty solid cruiser. Again, I'm not a super tester or a CC, so I can't touch these ships because they don't get given to me at all. But what gets hit the hardest are our 2 next ships. So the Brisbane, the Commonwealth cruiser, this is the Australian Minotaur. Now this ship does have HE. So yeah, if you guys don't know, back in the day they did test Minotaur with HE, but it was said that it was too HE spammy and it was simply unacceptable to have a ship that was that HE spammy. Whoever made that call needs to get hired again by Wargaming, because he obviously got fired a few years ago. And listen to this, her main battery reload time was increased from 4.5 to 6 seconds. Oh, that's rough. That's a 1.5 seconds nerf to her reload time. That's what? 30-ish% reduction to her HE DPM. So yeah, again, it's an HE Minotaur, so even with a 6-second reload, it's going to have no problem setting fires, and that's probably why they had to tone it down. So again, just imagine a Minotaur with HE, and I'm sure everyone that plays this game can understand why that had to be toned down a bit. Now, this is a pretty massive nerf overall, but again, these ships are still in testing, and during testing, Wargaming isn't afraid to hit ships with the nerf hammer pretty hard, because again, they're in testing, they're not out. Once they do get released, they can only tweak it, well, they're only willing to tweak it by very small increments, which is better than them just whacking stuff left, right, and center with a nerf bat. So, yeah. Again, HE Minotaur, I don't think anyone should be surprised by the fact that that got nerfed if they're going to stick with the HE on the Brisbane. So, yeah, I'm still interested to see how the ship's going to come out all in all. Again, we're probably 2 or 3 months away from this ship being anywhere near ready to get released. All right, so the Z-42, this was the German Harugumo, the HE spammy DD. This has 10 105mm guns with German HE pins. So they nerfed to reload. Main battery reload time increased from 3.1 to 4.5 seconds. Detectability and range by ships increased from 7.25 to 7.6. Other types of detectability increase proportionately. I believe that takes away her ability to stealth hydro. Torpedo changes. Torpedo range reduced. Oh, man. 10 to 7.5 kilometers. Hello. Ship speed reduced 66 to 62 knots. Detectability range reduced 1.8 to 1.3, so stealthier now, kilometers. Maximum damage reduced from 18,400 to 13,700. Good God. Man, alright, so I'm pretty sure she lost the ability to stealth hydro there. And, man, they neutered her torps. So, I mean, with a build, you'll be able to get your detection down. But, man, that's a big nerf to her torpedo. So base, her torpedo range is inside of her detection range. Again, you know, you can build into it and get it down pretty low, but I'm pretty sure you can't get it underneath the 6 kilometer hydro anymore, or it'd be right at the 6 kilometer hydro. 66 to 62 knots, 1.8 to 1.3 kilometers. So they did give it a buff to its detection at least. And the maximum damage reduced from 18,400 to 13,700. That is a 4,000 about reduction in damage on her torpedoes. And she's not being compensated by a faster reload or anything like that. Now, again, this is a 10-gun, 105mm gun German destroyer with German HE pens on those 105s. So I can understand why they would need to nerf the reload time a bit, but they absolutely just slapped the crap out of the Z-42 with the nerf hammer here. I would imagine it was primarily going to be a main gun focused destroyer anyway, and I guess they tried to, you know, have the torpedoes with the main gun HE spamming ability, but I guess they realized that that's not going to work. So yeah, again, I was expecting to see a nerf to the main battery's reload time, but not the torpedoes. They really just neutered the shit out of these torpedoes here with the Z-42. So, yeah, again, this is all in testing, and this can change. They could go right back and buff it here in the next couple of days, but we'll see what happens. So, guys, let me know in the comments down below. Do these changes have any effect on your desire to get these ships? Brisbane, again, I was expecting changes to her reload time. I'm still excited to see her come out and see what an HE Minotaur is like and her other traits as well. Z-42 looks like, again, an interesting German DD, German Harugmo, and good God, again, they just crushed her with the nerf hammer here. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hope you have a wonderful Thursday. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 45,000 subs. We're getting very close to getting to 41,000 subscribers, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Hope you all have a wonderful day, wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.